Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Bearable Bull here. And I got this aggressively average content for you today. As here, we have a shot fired from Jason from the All In podcast. That is the podcast that has Chamath Palihapitiya, billionaire owner of the Golden State Warriors, on it. And he called out XRP as being an obvious security. He stated that Ripple would not have had to pay anything had the Ripple team registered it as a security and played by the rules like everyone else in the industry. This is a direct response to Ripple saying it spent $200 million fighting the SEC lawsuit. Ladies and gentlemen, let's remember that Ripple was meeting with the SEC constantly for years, and the SEC never gave any indications that XRP was a security. Then, on the last day in office, Jay Clayton files a suit against Ripple the company, claiming XRP is a security. And here we go. 2.5 years later, we're still in this limbo. And now, the entire industry is under threat. You see, the thing about Jason is, he's one of those individuals that likes benefiting from the rules of the game. For a lot of people in the XRP army, you probably all are wondering, why is there so much hate towards XRP? Why do so many industry insiders not like it? And the reason it's simple. It's all about the money. Guys, this is a fun fact in case you're not aware. VCs, they get nice healthy discounts buying up tokens from these crypto companies in bulk. Maybe 20, 30, 50, 80% discounts. That's one of those things Mike Novogratz did with Ethereum. The reason these VCs love Ethereum so much is because the Ethereum Foundation gave away so much Ether at such a discounted price to them. And that's why they keep shilling it onto the masses and saying it is the best token on the planet aside from Bitcoin. See, they hate XRP because Ripple, they refuse to sell their XRP at a discount. That's the reason there's so much XRP hatred. It's not because of the idealism. It's not because XRP's a banker's coin. It's because they couldn't buy it pennies on the dollar relative to retail investors. And I can't stress that enough. The rules of the game were always meant to shit on retail investors, mom and pop, people like you and me. And always remember that when you see comments like this. Now guys, as we continue, I have a powerful clip talking about what a very likely outcome in this XRP case is about to be. We might be about to go to a world where only Ripple gets clarity in this market, and honestly, I don't give a damn at this point. I want to see our XRP thrive. I want to see us go full-blown utility bull run, full-blown moon mission, while the rest of the market is struggling. Because that would benefit us, the XRP holder, the most. We'd be able to take profits from our XRP into other digital assets that are suppressed. And now, let's listen to a scenario we've been discussing for oh so long.
It's very possible that the judge could issue a decision that only applies to Ripple, and therefore it won't be clear. There will be many other companies who are stuck in the same regulatory ambiguous state that they are today. The second is it doesn't allow for public engagement, and the best rulemaking, legislative or regulatory process involves that public output, not just from industry, but from academics, from consumers, to really have all parties weighing in, voicing their concerns to get to the best outcome possible. You just miss all of that when you have to go through the courts to reach an outcome, which again, just may not even solve the problem that affects industry.
Well. For those of you listening at home, how many times have we said this? For those of you listening at home, how many times does the XRP army have to be correct about our analysis for all of you to get it? Guys, the XRP community has always been one step ahead, sometimes 5 or 6 steps ahead of what the rest of the crypto industry is just figuring out. Nobody had a problem when just Ripple got sued, but the XRP army was stating publicly that there was going to be a day when Ripple was going to have clarity, and it was going to be the rest of the industry under the fire of the SEC. And here we see just that analysis being relayed in this conference. Ripple's almost done. XRP's clarity will be here. The first regulatory compliant cryptocurrency on the planet, specifically in the United States, excuse me. And now the rest of the industry's in limbo. This is something that should give all of you at home extreme confidence. The price of XRP has been lagging behind the rest of the industries. And that's something that's very real and very frustrating. But because we've gotten so much correct, both macro and within the crypto industry, it should give you the confidence that we are 100% correct as far as what the future of our price is concerned. Here, Eleanor Tourette stated, Patrick McHenry listed his key takeaways from this hearing. Current disclosures framework don't work for digital assets. The CFTC needs additional authority over non-security digital assets. The SEC needs to modify its rules for broker-dealers and security exchanges. The SEC and CFTC alone can't do this, and Congress must act. This is also a final word from Brad Sherman. If we want clarity, let's just make it clear that the SEC has full jurisdiction. If the CFTC wants full jurisdiction, that's fine. I can't think of an industry more in need of double regulation than zero. And you know what's crazy? The crypto industry never asked for zero regulation. We just asked for the damn guardrails and for that to be written on paper, clear for us to follow, so we can make our money in peace without random lawsuits being filed, without exchanges having to delist tokens, without retail being in the line of fire. That's what's crazy. There were multiple hearings posted yesterday showing the progress that regulators are making when it comes to regulating this industry. And at the very least, I can honestly say that I'm extremely optimistic. I'm optimistic because we're at the forefront of this conversation. But at the same time, I'm beginning to see something that I predicted over 6 months ago. I predicted that there was going to be a day when the crypto industry was going to get political, when it was going to get polarized and divided amongst political parties. It's looking to me like the Democratic Party is taking a more anti-crypto approach, while on the other hand, the Republican Party is trying to be more pro-crypto. Yet again, regulators wasting time. Yet again, more political posturing. That was a genuine fear I had that seems to be playing out, but honestly, I'm cautiously optimistic, especially for the upcoming bull run, that things will work out, that we will be able to profit take with more clear rules of the road. And you don't have to listen to me when I say this. Please listen to members of Congress let you know that this is coming. This is great news. We're going to be a massive talking point, especially heading into 2024 elections. And I hope all of you realize how powerful of a moment we're in. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bearable Bull here. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. Now I'll be back tomorrow with another video.
AntiCrypto Derangement syndrome that clouds clear thinking about crypto regulation. Although there are too many, although there are too many myths to dispel, I will take the occasion to address a few of them. Myth, a statutory framework for crypto, would undermine 9 decades of securities law. Fact, the New York State Department of Financial Services has an alternate framework for regulating virtual assets. And far from undermining securities regulation, DFS has shown itself to be the most rigorous regulator of crypto in the world. Myth, there's no need at all for the SEC to provide regulatory clarity and guidance, and that calls for clarity and guidance are nothing more than a pretext for evading lawful compliance. Fact, even the Investor Advisory Committee, which favors Gary Gensler's approach to enforcement, concedes that there is in fact a need for regulatory clarity. Quote, the SEC should consider issuing a request for comment regarding areas where additional guidance is needed related to the application of federal securities laws to crypto assets. Myth, it does not matter at all if crypto is driven offshore. Fact, offshore, deregulated, over-leveraged companies like FTX carry the greatest risk of losing customer funds, a point that Gary Gensler himself did not dispute when pressed under questioning. Myth, registration with the SEC is just a form on a website. Fact, the notion of registration as just a form on a website is patently false. So false, in fact, that it would come as a shock to all the securities lawyers and companies spending millions of dollars on SEC registration and compliance. Myth, the SEC has the right to crack down on crypto because the technology has no utility. It does more harm than good. Fact, the SEC is statutorily designed to be a merit-neutral regulator. Even if SEC chair were as omniscient as God himself, he nonetheless has no statutory authority to impose his personal judgment about the merits of crypto and blockchain on those of us who disagree with him. The SEC's only role is to correct information asymmetries and mandate disclosures to protect investors. So my first question.
I thank the chairman. I thank both our chairmen and both our ranking members for calling today's hearing. It's great to see agriculture and financial services come together to address a really big challenge. Why? Because I think it's time for Congress to get to work on digital asset rules, because the current regulation by enforcement practice is not working. Last month, the Financial Services Committee, we asked the SEC Commissioner, Chairman Gensler, for his view on the future of digital assets regulations. And candidly, we didn't learn a lot. We didn't hear a path forward for digital asset regulation. Maybe one of the only things we learned was that Chairman Gensler's never traded a digital asset himself. We don't know what Chairman Gensler's plans are. There's not clear rules in front of us. And regulation by enforcement doesn't work. And the come in and register black box the register by black box is serving to chill the digital assets innovation. I don't think we can afford as a country to cede regulation to other countries. And I'm concerned that it's going to move innovation outside the United States, move it overseas, costing Americans jobs, and putting U.S. retail investors ultimately at a disadvantage. And I think this hearing demonstrates that Congress is ready to do the job.
Why do I hold XRP? Because Ripple's the chosen one to lead the new global digital payment system, and they use XRP. In 2013, the Federal Reserve began looking for faster payments options. 2 years later, an action plan was born and a federal payments task force was created. It included one company focused on crypto, Ripple. In 2014, the World Bank and Better Than Cash Alliance, which includes the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Clinton Global Initiative, and the governments of 32 countries, put out a report called The Opportunities of Digitizing Payments. 1 year later, the Better Than Cash Alliance featured one crypto company on their website, Ripple. Today, Better Than Cash Alliance and all other UN initiatives are focused on a single agenda, the Sustainable Development Goals for 2030. You can see the SDGs logo on Bill Gates' lapel, world-leading companies, the Better Than Cash Alliance website, and on the UN's official exchange, Exchange. What crypto is Exchange officially utilizing for their carbon credit solution? XRP. The world will move to a new international standard for exchanging electronic messages between financial institutions by 2025 called ISO 20022. Who was the first ISO 20022 member focused on distributed ledger technology? Ripple. Who's partnered with over 300 financial institutions, including Bank of America, American Express, PNC, Santander, SBI, HSBC, Standard Chartered Bank, Bank of England, India, Singapore, Scotland, Australia, and Indonesia, the largest banks in Japan, Canada, Egypt, the Middle East, East, United Arab Emirates, Thailand, Morocco, Bhutan, South Korea, Brazil, and Latin America? Ripple, who is a former employee overseeing the Federal Reserve? Ripple, a former employee overseeing the world's largest asset manager, BlackRock's digital asset division? Ripple, leading Australia's CBDC effort? Ripple, who hired a former Treasury of the United States? Ripple, 2 former Federal Reserve attorneys to their board? Ripple, 2 former Clinton and Obama advisors, former Minister of Defense and Economics of Germany, former business director at Swift, former Swift board member, former CFO of PayPal, former head of the DTCC, former chief business officer at Uber, former VP of Amazon, and former SEC chair on their legal team? Ripple, who's a member of the Digital Pound Foundation, Digital Dollar Project, Digital Euro Association, Mojaloop, IMF's high-level advisory board on fintech, Hyperledger Blockchain Consortium, Open Payments Coalition, Faster Payments Council, Global Payments Steering Group, Cross-Border Working Group, International Association for Trusted Blockchain Applications, Crypto Climate Accord, University Blockchain Initiative, World Wide Web Consortium, and a featured partner of the World Economic Forum with 3 members of their team directly listed on the WF website? Ripple. Now, does Ripple and XRP sound like they're going to disappear, or do they sound like they're part of a much bigger plan? You decide.